Hi everyone, my name is Mr. And in this video I try to make a very simple to do applications using Total.js. If you do remember, if you already follow me on Medium, you will notice that I have made a little blog that was talking about it. Let's go to Medium. I will show you the post that I published about the simple application, simple to do application. If you go to my stories and click on publish it, I will show you that I made two blog posts. And the first part was about creating a simple project from scratch and trying to create the API. As you can see here, this is the API routes for our to-do application, and it was very simple. But I did have the opportunity to explain everything. At the end of this tutorial, I was testing with something like RESTCode or Postman, but I didn't have opportunity to explain you how it works. So I am doing this video in order to explain you everything about this tutorial, these simple to-do applications. So what we're going to do is to create a very simple project. Okay, here we create I think that as we have two parts, I will create yes, let me just do it like this. Simple. Let me name it as simple. Okay, and I will right click on it and try to open it with and drag and drop it here in VS Code so that we can start everything from scratch. Yes, once we are in this folder, what we need to do is open a terminal here, and you need a Node.js application. So we type node npm instead npm dash init dash y. Once we are in this folder, what we need to do is type npm init dash y to create a very simple project. It creates a package.json here and nothing for now. What we need to do is to install the single dependency that we will need in this video. That dependency is what Total.js. Okay, npm install total 4 because we are dealing with the last version of Total.js. Total.js 3, but I'm not going to make something with it. Total.js 4 is the best one for now. And yes, after we did it, we need an entry point for our application. So we need to create an index.js file. Okay, and what we do, we just try Total.js for something. Okay, total for /devel because we want it to refresh whenever we edit our code. So it's easy to do it like this. And let me precise some port number here, 5000. Okay, 5000 as port number. And from now, we can already start our project. If we type node index.js to execute it, what happens? We have a simple server code that is listening on port 5000. But for now, we don't have a route. For example, I try to open it in the browser like this, localhost 5000. You see, it says not found. Okay, but that means that we don't have a route for now. So, according to our tutorial, we need, after we create a project, okay, npm init and npm install total.js for we create everything. Main npm file, this is what we did. We execute it. We have our server that is listening port now number. Resize it. But what next? What is next is Total.js API. Okay, application API is going to look like this, and that's what we are going to do. We create a folder called controllers, and inside of it, we put our API.js file. So let's do that. So first, we create a controllers folders. Okay? Controllers, inside of which we try to put API.js file. And what is next? We try to do some export of it. So this is how we do things in Total.js. We declare things in Total.js. So this is how the framework is going to understand you. Okay. Once we did that, we have to create our routes. Simple in Total.js. We create route by typing route like this, and we say default of the route. It's important. So first route will be get. Okay. We what was the name of the route again? To do slash list. Okay. Let me get back to my project. To do slash list. The list that we don't have s at the end. We and do it like that. Let us try something first. Okay. Let's say that we have to make it like that, because the goal of this video is not to copy what we did in the blog post of Medium, but we have to try to explain things how it works on the go. So this means that once someone is calling this route, this function must be executed. But as you can see here, it says that the function does not exist for now. The list is not defined. So we have to create it. Okay, function list, open up our function like this. Yes. And for now, the server is happy now. Okay. And once we create that, we are in the controllers, right? How we get the controller instance? To get the controller instance, you call with this of this function. Okay, the route delegate is going to return everything we need in this route. Okay, and how does a controller in Total.js look like? Let us go back to our documentation. I will show you how controller instance looks like. Go into the documentation, click on Total.js 4. Okay, scroll down until you meet controllers. Okay, we have it here. Controller. You click on it, you see this the controller instance. If you have a controller instance, these are the properties we going to have. Okay, a lots of things. Okay, after that we have this methods that you can use to. These methods are very important because it will help you understand to reply every request you face in this application. It also helps you upload some files and lots of things. Okay, this is how we are going to take here. I'm not going to call it controller like it is set here, the say controller, because this will be a very long variable. I can make it like that, like file controller equals to this, like this. But what I will do is to make it simple. I will call it self, okay? And we know that this is the controller. And after that, what we try to do first is to create to return a simple text. Okay, how we do that? We type self dot plain. This way we are trying to reply to our request with a very simple text, okay, a plain text. So we type, for example, to do this. Okay, it's very simple. It is not difficult. So if we go back to our application here, uh, close the tab. So let me go on port 5000. Click again. It says that we don't have something here for now. Let me try to open to do's. our route slash list. And as you can see, we have a simple response from the request. Okay, very good. What is next? What we have to do, what we want here is to return a list of to-dos. Imagine uh, in in a in a format of JSON for example. So let's do that. We can type JSON here and return an empty array. Okay. If you go back and refresh it here, you see we have an empty array here because I have something that is going to handle the niceness of the return. That is why you see it here. But it is empty array. If you go back here, you can try to put something like a to-do list that is going to be ID, going to be something like ID, and the name of the to-do is going to be make some video about Total.js, yes, and something like data created. I try to put a function from Total.js call now, a variable call now. This variable is holding the timestamp of the current minute. I will have time to explain later. Don't worry about it. If I refresh, as you can see, we have an object inside our array. That's how it works. Simple. But this is not how we did in our applications. We want to create a schema, for example, because when we want to develop an application, we want to validate some of the data, for example. So we need a schema for that. Like if someone is trying to insert a new to do, we need to validate if the to do name is correct. That this person is not putting a number instead of string in the to do name. That is why we need a validation system. And Total.js offers us a system called schemas to validate it. Not only validation, but it can all add operations like actions for replying to the request to. That's what we are going to do in the next. So we not need this function here, but can be very interesting in some cases to have a simple function here that returns and responds to requests. So what we need to do is to extend this route by adding schema name. Okay, to do that we have to do some start like this, a star and big to do's. Okay, means that our schema name is will be called to do's. Make a array like this arrow to say that we are going to execute a action called list. Okay, but that to do's schema does not exist for now. We have to create it. So we create a schemas folder here, inside of which we create a file called to-dos.js. And here we try to do new schema. We have auto completion from here. This is very interesting. Okay, and inside of it we create. First of all, we need the name of the schema. Very important. And we decided to call it to-dos like that. In capital letter for T. And then we have these callback functions that will return the schema delegate object that will allow us to declare our fields and actions. And not forget to put schema here. This is very important. Okay, from now we are able to do lots of things. Like we have to define some schema informations. I show you that this is what we did here. As you can see, yes. But I'm here to teach you more details about what we did there. I'm not trying to copy paste it. I could do that, but I want to explain how it works to how you can make a good application with Total.js and understand everything you do. Schema.define. is the function that can help us to define our schema fields. Okay, like here name, I can define it saying that this is going to be a string. Yes, and I say true. If I say true here, it means that this name, schema name is required. You cannot omit it. If you omit it, the server will tell you, you forget to specify the name of your student. Okay. From now, let us say that we can define it like that, and we can maybe we need to define something like a boolean saying if the to do is done or not. Not very necessary here, but I'm just trying to teach you all with some examples. So here we type out a simple thing called let's say is done. Okay, and I say it's boolean, and maybe you're asking me where do I find the confirmations about the data types. If you go to the Total.js website again, the documentation website is very good. It provides everything. You can scroll down and find something like models. Where is that? Sometimes it takes me some time to find where things are. Data models. Okay. Yes. Here we have the data types. Okay. You can have strings number two. Depends on what you want to do. And you have something very interesting like phone objects too, zip, URL. It's able to validate those things. Okay, so feel free to test it later. And if you want to test other things like custom validations, here are some examples for you. It's very interesting. After you did that, you need some actions. Okay, it's very easy to declare some actions. You have to type schema the action like that and put a name for the actions. This is how I will call it. Oh no, I am forgetting something important. Yes, uh, no, I have to precise the action name. So, and here, the second parameter is a name. Let us go to find it. Oh, it's very important, very important. Where do I find the action data model? Here we have it. For example, the schema operations. Okay, here is the action. Okay, if you take a schema like that, schema.action will give you the opportunity to declare the action name and an object to add some options. Okay. All the options, by the way, are very optional. Okay. Add name here. This is for documentation purpose. This our to use. Okay. You can get back to find your action now. But you can get back to the documentation and see that there is lots of actions you can have, like the name, optional, it is some human-enabled action name. Okay, it means that you explain what action is that. It's helps 9 hours. Your team members to come back and understand what you're doing in this action. This is not something very important, but sometimes it is interesting to have it. Some params, it's very interesting to declare some params because sometimes you need to take it and validate them. And you can, I will take some examples so that you know how it works. Okay. And yes, data schema, you have a lot of information, some examples here. Okay, feel free to test it. And here I'll go with the action. It will be a function. Functions will give us a delegate called dollar. This dollar sign is very important here. It gives you a lot of capabilities to handle your request, to handle your data, and perform very interesting actions. Well, after I took this example like this, I will copy paste yes everything so that you will explain. Do not make the video very long. Uh, from now, the action is here. If you go back to the to-do list, you will see that I made it some marginalized at that. Query search, I enable some search function for this query, for this action, and it was very interesting. So let us do that. So I get back here. Let us add the query. Okay, like here. Say, or we need to have a query parameter called search that is going to create string. After that, we have the action. It's able to validate it. If your query parameter is a number, you're expecting something like a number, you can precise it here, and the framework is going to reply whenever there is an error, there is a wrong data type in. So here we need to create some kind of builder. It's very important. The builder, we use something called db. Okay, dot find. Okay, and here we have to precise that we are using a NoSQL. Actually, I will show you everything from the documentation right now. Because and type SQL slash tools to decide that this is the database name. That is what we did here, right? Builder besides the database name. But as we are going to use a NoSQL database, let me show you NoSQL first. Why is that NoSQL? It is here. Okay. It says that it's a simple built-in plain text NoSQL database system. It stores the data on a disk. Yes, it stores the data on the hard drive. So it's very interesting to have it. Yes, but we have something called query builder here. Query builder is very interesting. That's why we have this delegate called this function, global function called DB. Okay, if you precisely say NoSQL slash database name, it will going to handle it as a NoSQL database. But as you can see here, it's possible to use that same tool to communicate with a PostgreSQL database, a MySQL database, SQLite or database, and so on. It has some support for MongoDB too, but partially, and yes, feel free to test it. If MongoDB is not working with the query builder, you have something called DBMS here. Okay, you can feel free to test it. But DB from query builder is very interesting. So let me get back here to continue our to do list. From here, you can make some builder that let's implement first the query search query. We testing try to see if query the query dot search, for example, it exists. What we need to do is to type in the dot search and say we need to decide and say search tool and say this is going to be query dot search. Very easy like that. And also we need something important. We don't want to return tools that are deleted, so we need to precisely say either dot where is move. Oh, I have bad typing. That was it. It's going to be false. Tap enter. After that, we have builder that callback. Make it simple like that. and it's going to return back name. That's how we can implement such features for our action. And let me try to see if we have the same things here. Yes, that's what we have here. We don't have the same order of instructions. I forgot to precisely say the fields we need to return, but this is not a problem. We can do that here. With the builder dot fields. Okay, and precisely say this is we need to return the ID, the name, then is done, and description. Because I didn't add some description fields here. Let us make it very quiet because you can describe what your to do is very good. And this is extreme. It is required to that. Since there is an error here, I'm going to see what is the error. Video.index of is not a function. This happened on line 1. What is the problem here? It is said I have declared some new JSON schema. This is not normal. We should display a simple new schema like that. Okay, now the server is happy. Okay. So the error is solved. If you go back to our route here, we try to refresh, should see a simple just like that. Okay, but because we don't have some sessions yet, the array is empty. So let's try to copy paste things from here because we don't want the video to take too much time. I'll copy here, get back to this part, paste it here. Okay, this is for creating a to do. Yes, as you can see, the input here we declare things from here and not there. It's very important. You cannot declare use schema.define and use input here again. This is not going to work. Okay, so you need to choose either you use schema.define for defining your fields, or you ignore it and define your input names from this the action here. Okay, so we need to delete it and keep it the same as we have in the blog post. Now, I think that it's possible for me to copy paste everything here, so we can jump on doing the other things. I will explain it simply, and we go paste it here. So now we have all the actions here. This action is called create. It is for creating our to-do application. So let me go back to without copy paste without to, so we don't have to waste the time again. But by explaining, I will try to give you okay, can copy paste it here. So we have the same thing. We have the create route. The create actions instead. The read action, the update, remove, and done action. This action is going to toggle done or is not done. I will show you how I implemented it. It's very easy to within the Total.js. Okay. If we go back to our schemas, we are going through the actions we created to explain everything. Like here, create action. Create a new to do, as you can see the explanation here. This is the input, the expected data from the form. Okay, it will be name, description, and is done. Here it is said is done is true, false. This is a wrong idea. You could have said it boolean, okay, and it would work. This is model.id. So we try to generate a ID, unique ID for our model, and then it's done for by default is going to be false. Okay, until the person clicks on done, and then search. Search is very important. We try to format the model, the putting name with the description to put it in a new field called search. This field is used here for filtering the to-do list. Okay, this is very important. Okay, by inserting, we do it here and use it from the list. And after that, we create a new field called is removed. By default, it is false. Then a new field called dt created will give a timestamp of when the to-do is created. Important too. And then finally, we have to create call the function called insert, and beside the database name, it is NoSQL slash to-dos, and we provide the model, the object, and we make a simple callback. It's very easy to do things like that, and it works. After that, we have the read action. The read action tries to read a specific to-do in a database. But here, we need to provide the ID of the to-do we want to read. Okay, if you go back to the route, you precisely see that there is to do slash read slash the ID we expect here. That is why from here you can try to take the ID using the params option here. Okay. And from there we have the action again. That action is going to provide you the delegate as usual. From delegate you take the params to its list. Can be as many params as you want, but here we just need the ID params. From here, finally, we read the to do. Try to filter, take the fields we need. So that is why we precisely say ID name is done and description. We don't want other fields like is removed or data created. It's not necessary or search. These are some internal data for application. And here we try to make a filtering from the ID because we don't want any to do. We want a to do from the ID we passed in. Okay, so we do the ID uh, function here. Before this is going to do in the background. Web close. Okay, we take the required or the expected to do. But very important, we put this dot error method in case we don't find the to do. This is going to return a not found error, okay? And have a callback that is going to handle everything at the end. The callback is going to execute the query and respond to return back to the request. As you can see, we can do that all of that in one line. This is very important, very interesting too. Okay. After you have the update action, this is looking like the create action. The difference is that we add a DT updated that is going to take the timestamp of when the to-do is updated. And we try to update the search here in case someone tries to modify the description or the name of the to-do. We call it again in order to update it so that the next search will be working fine. And same thing, we try to call the required action from the database. This update, we want to update database name, okay, and the model. We're doing same thing. This is how we do also for remove. Remove is going to update. We're not removing the data from the database physically. We just try to switch from is removed true or false to true, and we add some timestamp of when the data is removed. This is easy tweak because some cases we don't want to delete. This is how we end soft delete in Total.js. Very easy. Okay, do it manually. Sometimes you can end it in the database if you want to make a complex database. This is but in case of relational database, of course, because here we are dealing with um, USQL database, and this is not necessary to do that. And finally, I'm trying to explain you how the done action is implemented. Here also we try to toggle from true to false and from false to true of the field code is done. Okay, and that's how we do it here. If you precisely say it like that, the database NoSQL database is going to verify. If it is true, it will turn it to false. It is false, it will turn it to true. That's how it works. But we precisely say we don't want to drop when the insertion, when the data is removed. Okay, that's why we make a web clause here to say is removed is going to be false. Once again, we put the error before to handle the case where the data is not found. So someone can put a wrong ID, and we don't want to break our code or system, because that's what we need the error function here to do that. And notice here we don't use a dot callback, we are using done. Done is going to respond by success true to success false, something like this. Okay, this is how because you don't want a list or something, an object as a return. That's why we use done here. Same thing with update action and remove actions. We don't want to return an object, so we use dot done. Okay, so we are done with our application. The API is done as we have the actions and we have also the routes. What we need now is to test it, try to insert some things, try to delete, toggle, update, and list. For that, we need a tool called Postgre. No, not Postgre, Postman. Postman. I don't have Postman here, but I have an alternative tool called ILC. Works the same. You can use anything you want for testing, but let me use it. This one, okay, I will try to use localhost. Localhost, the port number is 5000. Make it slash producer slash list. And click on the method is not post but get. Okay, click on send, and it says there is a problem. Yes, there is a problem because I'm trying to put HTTPS, which is false, which is not wrong, because I am not implementing SSL in this server. So I will remove the S from here and it should work now. Yes, as you can see, the array is empty, and that's because we don't have any to do inside. So we try to add some to do by using the route to do slash create. Okay, I will test the validation first, and then we try to put some JSON. The content type is correct because we put it in application slash JSON. We don't have is to put some special header, let it like that. That's normal. We click and switch the method to post, and from here I can test it. Says not found because I didn't precisely say we need to hold the slash shop with. Test it again. As you can see, it says that the name field is required. Okay, let me go back here because I said that we should be wise. Let me get back. Yes, good. Show you here. That it says that the name field is required. How we make it here? We just know that the field is required. I put in the star sign here. The symbol star is to state that the name field is required. If we remove it, everything will be absolutely not required. But we need to at least one field is required to validate things. Okay, so let me go back to our web application client. From here, switch to body, and what I need to do is don't need this because we're not using API routing. We do it from scratch. Okay, open, make it web JSON document. Decided say that we need some name. It's going to be take videos, and I click on save, send. As you can see, it says true, and the value is the ID from there. If I get back to list, it should have one to do slash list. Okay, so I switch back to get method, don't forget it, and send. As you can see, the array is not empty anymore. The array is correct. Let us try to add some other uh, views. Okay, I get back here. And this time I'm adding some description. Very important. Description is going to be call it what said I want to create a video about total yes. Click on send, and it says again success is true, value is the ID from the server. I switch back to get method, and I take it, make it a for list. Then again, I have two session two to use in the list now. I think that from here you have all the possibilities. You can try to remove some by precisely saying what you want to remove or try to talk them. Okay, let me make an example again for this tool called ILC. Let's say that we want to remove this one. Just copy the ID and I use this route here. Let me show you everything. Because I want you to understand what we are doing. Even if you are new from web developer and you can understand what I want to do. It is to do slash remove slash ID. Okay. Remove slash the ID. I copy, I paste it here. Please we want to remove it. Oh, remember that the method is the delete method. Okay. I switch to delete and click on it says success. Means the session is successfully deleted. And as I said, we're not deleting it physically, we're just toggling the is removed from false to true. Okay. If we try to list it again, we're going to see that one session is missing. Now to do slash list, we get before, then we click on, as you can see, we're not getting the last section again. I think it is enough for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's important to like, comment, and share this video. And feel free to ask and join our Telegram group. I will put the link link in the description. So thank you for watching.